the roles only. So whatever permission has, whatever roles has been applied to that user, based on that he can see. Yeah. So yeah, just suppose I have a user now. I can actually don't. I can. I cannot add say multiple users in this account. So um, yeah, maybe in local we can see. So it is my local account. I'll go to permission manager. No, I will go to user list. So there is a user called navin@gmail.com. I will remove all the role. Will give only sales user role. Okay. And there is another user. So this is user Navin ERPNext.com actually. And now I am using administrator login. So administrator user has sales master manager as well. So if I check the customer, if you go to new customer, suppose I can see that he can edit credit limit because he has the permission of sales master manager, administrator user. But if I go to, suppose I am logging out and log in as a navinerpnext.com. If we go to customer, so this field is disabled. He cannot edit. So,
can I ask another question about permissions? First, do you have permission exclusion, not only inclusion, what is allowed, but what is denied? Because many times you have a user that is allowed many things, but it is denied some things, also based on data.
no, you cannot do at user level, but you can maybe control that using the roles and creating a new roles and everything.
Yes,
but exclusion is not there. I think
exclusion.
inclusion is based on inclusion you have to figure out.
Yes, and do you have roles nesting maybe or group nesting?
Maybe we can do, but right now this is not available.
Not only two levels. User.
So go to explore and okay, I have to log out and log in as administrator or system manager. Okay, yeah. Okay. So there is setup, and in setup there is a customized section. Yeah, and you will get a customized form link. So in customized form, you can select any document here. Like suppose we will select customer. So after selecting customer, you can set many things, many property, like you can set title field, by which field you should want the title of the customer. So title is just like this one. Suppose no, just so
Sorry, what's the main difference between the when you are in doc type editing and customizing form?
Okay.
Sorry, what's the main difference? Because actually, I think I can make everything in this doc type editing.
Yeah. So basically, in cloud, you do not have access directly to the doc type. Doc type is read-only mode. So you have to do every customization via customized form only. And basically, if you are using your local system, and if you are in developer mode, then if you change anything in the doc type directly, then it will also affect your JSON file in your repository. So, and you should not do any changes in your ERPNext and Fapper repository because it can conflict when you will update or something.
So quickly add on to that, any change you make from customized form does not touch the doc type. It is a layer on top of the doc type.
Yeah.
So when you add a field from customized form, it creates a custom field. It does not add it to the doc type. And when you change a property through customized form, there is a table called property setter.
Yeah.
So any doc type property you can modify with customized form. So those are applied on top of the doc type. So customized form is basically it updates to two tables, custom field and property setter.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, so not all properties are feasible for the issues.
So even if I customize a sort of built-in field or change those properties of that field, that only goes on top. So I'm not altering the actual data model. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, title is that in if you check sales order, so this is the title field where it shows in the left in bold, and this is the name. So in for sales order, the title is set based on the customer name. So you can customize that from customized form, and you can set search fields by which fields you want to search a sales order or customer. You can define that. You can set default print format. You can set maximum attachments, how many attachments you want to attach to a particular form. And there is also some quick hide copy. You want to just hide copy button, and you can enable or disable quick entry, which basically gives you to edit a form in dialog box. Okay. Apart from that, whenever you select that customer form, it also loads all the fields and its property to this table. So if you check any row, just customer's full name, it's you will see basically all the property of that field, and you can customize it from here. So just for example, you can change the level of the full name to the customer name, uh, and this level will be shown in your form and in the print format as well. So apart from that, you can change the type. Maybe there are many type. Uh, then you can set mandatory. You can set unique property. You can check in list view which fields will be shown in the list view, but there is some restriction to 4-5 fields, I think. Uh, Also, it will be available in standard filter or not. Uh, Based on the data type, you will be customize options. Just for example, if it is a select field, which is type, so all that these values will be shown in the drop down. So you can customize this as well, and depends on. this based on this property, you can hide or unhide a field based on any other field. Basically, a field is depends on other field. So you can simply you can write the field name of the field. Just for example, I am giving an example. Suppose mm, suppose if a customer type is company, then only show the this field. So you can write eval condition as well. Eval log dot customer type equal to company. Then only it will show that lead field. So apart from that, you can allow a specific field or after submission. So you know that after submission forms gets read only mode. And but apart from the read on, basically if you want to make a specific field editable after the submission, you can check this. You can use this property. You can hide a specific field from the report. If you check this remember last selected value, then basically it will remember all whatever you last selected, and whenever you create the new form, it will automatically come the last selected value. Then you can define form level, you can hide a field, you can make a field read only, you can set default of any field default value.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Here. We are usually developing multi-language applications, no? But all the options, selections, and codes are written down in some language, no? Is there a system how to create a translation table or to use options like IDs, no? If you, for example, if you have a task, no, with high, low, and medium priority, no, we do not write low priority, medium priority like text, but use some codes, and those codes can be then translated to different languages, no. I also in your development tutorial, all the listings and selections are typed with text. No?
I think you should make an issue about all these things. We can fix easily. In the code, we can change that. We can wrap with underscore all those values. We can fix it in the core itself. So
So I can also say something real quick about this. We have a company in Germany, we have a company in Romania, and we have customers whom we communicate with in English. So at the moment, we're developing everything in ERPNext in English. So that's basically our language. We've created an own translator for ourselves, an in-app translator, so we can translate every customization that we've made into all the languages that we use. But there is the issue that you cannot translate the option fields. It's like you have a select box, for example. This is not currently translated. So for us also, those select boxes are in English now. So maybe you have a German document that's translated with the Frappe internal translation system, but the option fields are not. I've written this down for myself. This is something we have to fix for ourselves, and this is
maybe
they do. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right, but you have to internally translate it for yourself.
yeah, here you will find that.
Translation only by strings is tricky, no? Because options in different selections can be different with different values. No? You need to value language text, value language text table, no? Because we have already a system ours for document management and all the multi-language is done, and I think it has to be done here also. Yeah.
I have maybe one addition to this request. If the translation of these options is a small, easy thing to do, and isn't it possible for the people who know how it is done to make a small tutorial of it? This
Yeah. So in customization section, you can get custom translations. You can create any translation. So source language is actually English. So suppose we want to translate it in Germany. So you can write any source data, and you can set the translated data as well. So whenever system will show or render that value, it will translate it first and it will show accordingly.
That's a very easy explained thing.
Yeah.
Looks to me that it is a perfect example to make a tutorial of this.
Okay.
Really, write it down. Those are procedures that we really need. A lot of people need this, and the people in the room here now saw how this is done. But I think you can widen your range of people who use ERPNext if you make these small little tutorials for specific things like this.
Okay.
And not only the translation, there are a lot of small steps that need to be done in ERPNext, and we really miss the documentation of these small things. Those are easy for you, but we have to look a lot to make this work.
Documentation for Frappe and ERPNext both is also part of the repository. So you can also make a page for that and contribute that in the ERPNext. So yeah, that is just, but that way only we can improve actually from your input. Yeah. Yeah, actually, at least documentation part you can contribute very actively.
Yeah, but we have to look for the way how it works. So the people who know how it works, it's only 5 minutes for them while they are developing it. It might be better to write it down, not really big, but just in small parts. Just post it somewhere, and then the community can
So it's actually
improve it.
Actually it is very easy. So you can go to directly to the GitHub, and you can. Anyway, there can be a page, but there is a docs directory.
Yeah, I can do it yourself.
So
Yeah, have to use it. Oh yeah, otherwise
all of the documentation is here only. So you can easily create a new file directly from here. So and after that you can send a pull request. It's very easy.
Yeah, I think software manuals should be written by people who don't know the software. It should be as dummy as possible. Because what you see, it's an ongoing discussion with the guys in Mumbai. What you see in the documentation is everything is so easy. So they do things and they skip the details, the small things, because that is obvious, etc. And there, as the end user, you get exactly there, you get stuck. I have a draft version. I don't know whether I ever sent it to Mumbai, just to explain how the system of contacts, addresses, and customers is working. It's a complex system, the triangle, but yeah, the details are always lacking. It is very simple. You look at it, and then you do it yourself, and then but what is the meaning of this? It's nowhere. So I think software manuals should not be written by people who know the software very well. They should be written by somebody who's struggling himself to get through it and seeing all those things.
Yeah. So his robot, actually robot is using is one of our earliest user, and he always pushed us to make detailed documentation from the last 4-5 years, I think. So
I just wanted to ask this new translation form. What is the scope that it covers? Because I tried to translate some things in some list, for example, some values, and they were not affected from my translation string here?
So
No, I think everything goes into the same pool of translations, so it should be. Maybe you just did not refresh the page or something. Okay, you refreshed. Maybe we'll have to see the specific case. Yeah, specific case. Yeah.
Developers to develop on ERPNext and Frappe is the documentation. This is the main attraction, because there are many frameworks, and which framework gets the most attention is that gets the best documentation. No? Because you can develop for 10 years and still not finished, and you want to spare that time. Thank you.
yeah. So so a lot of thing you can do by a customized form. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just one more question again to customizations. I found out that in customizing the order of the fields, when the fields are not custom, it's not possible at the moment. Is it by purpose or?
Yes.
Yes, that is by purpose, because they were flexible, but then whenever we change it in the product, the whole context changes, because then we have a lot of sections, and say somebody moves a field from a section to another section, and that used to create so many conflicts every time you update, because then we have every time you maybe add a new field or add a new functionality or move a functionality to another form, then it used to be very chaotic. Then maybe this should be a part of the feature. Maybe for addresses, maybe we should have a because we have an address template. So the way the address get prints can be customized but not entered. Yeah. Maybe it should be. So that's a good. But it used to create a lot of conflicts every time you update. So
Yeah.
so it's a call, I guess. Somebody.
Another question, is it planned to give a short overview over the workflow and how you could customize it?
Yeah, we can cover that after this one. And
This
we can
is
cover that.
part of the agenda.
Yeah, we'll cover that workflow.
When I made all these changes, how are they saved? So when I make these changes on my local test system and I want to deploy these changes to another system, how can I manage it?
Yeah, we'll cover that in the next session or something. Yeah. Okay. So just go ahead. So basically, you can make many customization from this customized form. So for now, I have changed the level of the full name to customer name. I set a depends on. So if I update, so if you check the property setter record, which Rusab already told that in the back end, we maintain a table called property setter, and all the customization saved into that property setter. So you can directly search from here, property setter list. So these three property has been created. So if we check that customer name level, so doc type is customer, field name customer name, property is level, and its value has been set as customer name. So basically all this customization is maintained by a property setter, and whenever we render a form, so this property setter is applied on over the standard fields property. So we will get the customization in that way. So you can also create a new field from the customization form itself. Suppose um, suppose in customer we want to add a new field called VAT ID. Just simple data and we'll update. So if we check custom fields table, so VAT ID has been created as a custom field, so it will also be included while rendering the form. So that's it. Okay. So apart from the property customization and custom fields, you can also create a custom doc type from inside the application. So yeah, yeah. If yeah, so yeah, I have just added this in at the end of the form. So you can also reorder the custom fields. Suppose you want to move it after tax ID. Yeah, and reload. If we check new customer, so there is VAT ID field. So yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. Yes, you are. Um, there is an issue already. Okay, I know that. So now we can create a new doc type as well, but from inside the app only without creating a custom application or anything. But it has some restriction if we create from inside the app on the cloud. So for this, basically, we will not be able to create any server-side scripting. We only will be able to basically create the doc type with some fields, and apart from that, we can create a custom script which will be in only in JavaScript. So that is the limitation from for creating a custom doc type from inside the app. But if you have a custom application using Bench or something, so then you have the full access. So now we are in cloud, so we'll create a new doc type. Um, suppose we'll create a simple doc type called transp. Zero manager. Okay. Yeah. So basically, that way you can create a custom doc type. Also, we can now create a custom field in the sales order, and we can link it to the transporter. So yeah, naming, yes, we have to give the auto name. So there is a many options for the naming of a record. Some of the examples are here. So for the transporter, we will just want the name to be the transporter name itself. So field colon transporter name. Stock module. Oh. Manager. It's not showing. Reloaded. Yeah. So we need to do reload because permissions must be reloaded after the creation of the transporter. So you can create a transporter now. We have enabled the quick edit, but it does not have any mandatory field. So maybe we should make the transporter name mandatory because its naming is based on this. So we'll set it mandatory. Again we'll refresh. Transporter name is suppose FedEx or something. I don't know. So now we can create a field for transporter in the sales order. Just give it here. For the link type field, we have to give the doc type name in the options. Yeah. So if we check the sales order now, there is a transporter field and it's a link field, and all the values in the transporter will automatically shown up. So that way you can create any doc type which does not need any server-side customization, custom script. So now we'll cover custom script. What type of customization can be done from inside the application using JavaScript. So let's say we are in sales order form and we want that this delivery date in your company's delivery date is 7 days after the date, after this date by default. So we want that this delivery date will be automatically set whenever you will select this date field by adding 7 days. So for that, this type of customization you can do a custom script. There was new custom script. I don't know. Go to custom script, new custom script. You have to select the doc type, sales order. Many people actually make a mistake here. I observed that if you are doing suppose some customization for sales order item table, which is a child table of sales order, so they select the doc type as sales order item, but custom script is always applicable to the parent doc type only. If you are writing for script for child table, then also you have to select the parent table. So maybe we will not show that child table only. We can filter out that. Yeah, I'll do that. So sales order and save. So Frappe dot you can write some simple script like Frappe dot UI dot form dot on. This is the doc type sales order. Now this delivery date will be set on trigger of the transaction date field. So you can write event for the transaction date like simple transaction date colon function, and FRM is your current form. So there is a function called FRM.setValue which sets a specific value to a specific field. So we'll use that, and target field is delivery date and value is there is already an inbuilt function for adding days to a specific date field. So we'll use that frappe dot date time dot add days. This is the function. Two arguments is required, which field and how many days. So so frm dot doc dot transaction date. This is the transaction date value, and we want to add 7 days. So yeah, so that's it. It will return the date after adding 7 days, and we are setting this value into the delivery date field. So if we calendar days. So if we reload the system, okay, so delivery date is not calculated because its date is set as default, but if we change it, it is calculating. But we also want that it should be calculated on load as well. So for that we have to write the same script. Suppose there is a method called onload. So that function is executed whenever it loads a form. So instead of transaction date, we'll and set the value if transaction date is exists. So we'll write if condition. So I expect that it should work now. Yes, it is coming. So default is 17 and delivery date is after 7 days. So that is an example of custom script. You can do many more things. Default functions which are executed in client script. That is whenever you loading a form, it executes onload function. So if you want to do something in after loading the form, you can write all those functions inside the onload. Then there is a method called refresh. I am just mentioning those standard function. Refresh. So refresh is called after loading the form. Yeah. You can go to yeah, you can Google that Frappe custom script. So there is a custom script example page. Suppose custom script page values from master. This is the most used functionality I think for customization. Suppose we have added that VAT ID field in the customer. You also want that field in the sales order for printing. So with the customer info. So you can easily create a custom field in the sales order for VAT ID, and you want that VAT ID will be automatically fetched from the customer. So for that you can use this add fetch. So simply you can write a custom script and just add these functions. So here is the customer link field, here is the source field, here is the target field. So that's way you can do. Apart from that, you can do many things. Suppose date validation. So yeah, suppose in the sales order form only that you want that transaction date cannot be in the future date, must be before today's date or at least today. So you can write this way. So we are writing this function in validate. So validate method is executed whenever you save that customer record. Before that, this function is executed, and if you write the validated false, then it will basically return do not save. There is an exception. Yeah.
I mean, just one question. How much can I customize with a custom script? Is it, for example, also possible to like alter the date time picker widget and add another button or something like this, or is it just coping with values from fields?
I think that thing is possible. Difficult. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Basically, some events in some fields would be executed on saving of a form. You want to validate something, or suppose you want to hide some fields based on specific user or something. You want to write script. That type of customization which does not need any suppose database connection or something. Okay. All the data are available in the local itself in the browser. Okay. So yeah, that type of customizations can be done.
So but if I want to alter the UI or something like that, I basically would have to need
no for that you can it will be in the JavaScript only, but for that custom script is not enough. Yeah, you have to create your custom app and then you have to write something. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it possible? Is it possible to add a button here?
Yeah.
And if yes, no.
But button is also a field type only. So you can create a custom field and select a field type as just for example.
Would you write the custom script? What is going on when you push the button here?
Yeah, you can write any event function on the I can show it. Suppose customize form, sales order. Just I will create a button here. Click me. Okay. Button. Then I will write a custom script at it's already in sales order. So copy this. No, inside this only I will write event. So click me is the field name for that button. If you check here, sorry, yeah, that is the field name. You have to write that, you have to use that field name for triggering an event. Sun, and suppose we want to message print okay, yeah, comma is missing. So here you can access basically any field. Suppose showing the value of cost, date, and
Can I ask some question here? These scripts are run on client, no, in browser, no, are JavaScripts, no. Do you have also events on the server, on load, and do you have any documentation about all the events that are possible? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Because I tried, but I don't know if there is any documentation about all the events that you can trigger. No?
my connection is going.
Okay.
So the FRM is the form object, and the current CUR underscore FRM is the current form object. Both are the same. CUR FRM is a global, so it's bad practice usually. So a lot of the old stuff is written with the CUR FRM, and the newer stuff we avoid it. So the form object gets passed to every event handler. So basically, what you can also
Wow. No. You have written an event, you have to figure it out.
I think for this you'll have to write a CUR FRM event, because this is still, buttons are still old style.
No, I don't think it should work. I have not.
So usually buttons we use for calling server-side events. So it's trying to call an event on the server.
Yeah, I did not reload it.
Maybe. So you can also quickly show the JavaScript console.
Yeah. So you can go to developer tools, and every time you encounter an issue, mostly there will be traceback here.
So if you want to see the FRM, go CUR FRM, and then you can show doc and all of that.
Yeah.
So if you just want to explore what all options you have to customize a form,
yeah.
So the CUR underscore FRM is a global object,
form object,
which
defines
the current form.
Yeah.
So if you do CUR FRM.doc, then it gives you the properties of the current document, which is all the properties of the current sales order. So you can use this to kind of quickly understand. And
so if you like confirm dot doc dot if any field name, it will give you the value. So you can use this in your code as well. So similarly,
So you can do. So you want to set the value of some other property, then you do crfrm set value. Maybe you can.
so there is many method like add child, confirm.save, enable save email doc.
Just a way for you to explore the custom script.
Yeah.
Locals is just the store of all the documents that have been loaded in the client in the browser. So when you open a form, it loads an object in the browser. Yeah. So you can just in the field you can just set it as hidden, and then you know with you can.
We should cover workflow, people. Please. No, I have no confidence in workflow.
So you can define a workflow. So you have different stages on the sales order. Say, is it pending approval, and then is it approved or is it rejected, for example? You know, like a simple. Okay, no, you can do it in the same. So I just add a new workflow. Say on sales order approval. On sales order. Okay. So I have states. One is so it gives me 3 default states. One is a pending, one is approved, and one is rejected. So doc status is again in ERPNext. You submit a doc. So when the submitted status is 1. So that's the so when it is approved, it should automatically get submitted, for example. And if it's rejected, it should remain in status 0. So if you want a field to also get updated with whenever you change something to approved, you want certain field to be set, you can set that. And then you can also define only who can approve it. So let's say the sales manager. So if it's in pending, then say the sales user can edit. But if it's approved, then say only the sales manager can then use it. Yeah, you can define as many states. So we have seen people define, I think, 40-50 states. So that's yeah. Yeah. So then you can also define the transition. So from it can go from pending to approved. Okay, so you define an action. So actions are also defined, customizable. So after pending, you have an action which is called approve, and then it goes to approved state. And then who is allowed? So let's say sales manager again. And then you can say from pending to rejected. You can.
If it is possible to calculate who is allowed to change the state.
You can define the role who is allowed. So only the sales manager role is allowed to change.
We have issues. It is also common. For example, you have projects, and you have project managers, and invoices that are under some projects are allowed to be approved only by project leaders, no, or
Okay.
team of the project, no. So you have to calculate who is allowed and who is not, no.
So as of now, it's role based. It's not, yeah. So yes, so basically Kanban is based on a particular field. So whenever you create a workflow, by default it creates a custom field called workflow underscore state, and then you can define a Kanban based on that state. So you can then, yeah, then it will we'll have to check that in version 8, yeah, when the Kanban comes. Yeah, the permissions. So I'm just saving this. So it creates a custom field called workflow state. Yeah.
Another question. Can I, before I approve, can I create an invoice, for example?
An action?
And wait as long until it is paid?
So you have to do server-side customization for that. So not configurable out of the box.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think when you create a new sales order, do you have a sales order? Maybe just create one. So when I save it, so I see the actions instead of this submit button. So I can either approve this sales order, because this user is also the sales manager. So this user can do both. So if you approve it, then it will also submit it automatically. Then I can make another one, say, just duplicate it, and then if I reject it, then it remains in that state, and then states become rejected. So I can't do anything from here. So I maybe I create a new state and go from reject to approve. Maybe the action is review, and then it becomes approved. No email. Okay.
Send an email to the manager of.
So we can create an email alert. So if you just create an email alert, so you can say sales order rejected. Send alert on say value change. So whenever value change, so when we say, try to select the document type, sales order. Let me just save this. Okay. So it should give me the workflow state. Maybe I have not reloaded it. Yeah, I could just write a condition also. So those are additional conditions. So yeah, so now I have the workflow state. So when I say, so whenever the value of workflow state changes, it will test this condition, and then I can either email it to like the contact or the owner, or maybe I can specify an email ID, say right, and then just add a message. There is an example of maybe you can pass some information.